Hey guys, this is lesson 14 and let's go ahead and get started with some subtraction of integers. So we are asked to find the difference, and so let's look at number 1. We have -6 minus 5, right? And we're going to go ahead and draw a number line. There's 0, and then let's say there's -6, and then there's 6. Okay? And then now we got to determine if we have to move to the left or to the right, okay? And because we know that we're subtracting 5 from -6, right, we know that we're going to have to move to the left. So knowing that, let's go ahead and draw another number line. Okay, where there's 0, and then there's -1, -2, -3, 4, 5, 6, so there's -6, okay? And there's -7, -8, -9, -10, -11, there's -10, -11, -12, -13, and so on and so forth, okay? So there's -6, and from -6, we know that we have to move 5 units to the left, because we're subtracting 5 from -6, right? So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so our answer is -11. Okay? Let's try number 2. Again, we're going to draw a number line. And there's 0, right? And this time we have a -3 instead of -6. So we go 1, 2, 3, and there's -3. And -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, -11, -12, -13, and so on and so forth, okay? And so, again, because we're subtracting 8 from -3, we know that we're going to move 8 units to the left, right? We're going to move to the left 8 times. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we land at -11. And so our answer is -11. Okay? So go ahead and solve the rest using a number line. And we're going to move on to the next page. So we are going to do multiplication of integers, and we're asked to find the product this time. So let's look at number 1. We have 7 times -2. Okay? And we know that a positive number times a negative number is going to equal to a negative number, right? And actually, let's do everything. So we know that positive number times a positive number is going to equal to a positive number. We know that a negative number times a negative number is going to equal to a positive number. And we know that negative number times a positive number is going to equal to a negative number. Okay? And so in this case, where 7 is a positive number and -2 is a negative number, we're going to use this. And so we know that our product is going to be negative. Okay? And then now we just simply do 7 times 2, and so that's 14. And that is why our answer is -14. Okay? So let's try number 2. So if we look at this numbers, right, 5 and -4, we again have a positive number and a negative number. And so we know that our answer, our product, is going to be negative. Okay, and then now we just simply do 5 times 4, which is 20. And that is why our answer is -20. Okay, so remember the rule, this rule over here, and go ahead and finish this page. And let's move on to our third page, where we're going to talk about circumference of a circle. So we were asked to calculate the circumference of each circle, and we are given the formula. Okay. So C stands for circumference, right? And R stands for radius. So this means 2 times pi, which is 3.14 something something something, times the radius. Okay, so let's look at number 1. So number 1, we have a radius. So we know that this is a radius, right? And so we have a radius of 0.9, right? And so we're going to substitute 0.9 where the R is for R. Okay, so if you rewrite it, then we get 2, C equals, circumference equals 2 times pi times 0.9 feet. Okay, so if we plug this, go ahead and plug this into your calculator. And if you plug it in and calculate, you get the circumference equals 65488 something feet. Okay, so there's our answer for the first one. And let's go ahead and solve the second one also. So for the second one, do we have a radius? Well, we do have a radius, but we must calculate it. We must find it. And how? Well, we know that this is a diameter, right? And we know the half of diameter, right? Half of diameter is a circumference. So if our diameter is 1.6 feet, okay, half of that equals our radius. So what's half of 1.6? Well, it is 0.8, right? 0.8 feet. So now we have a radius. And so now we're going to plug 0.8 for R, okay? And then if you rewrite it, then we get circumference equals 2 times pi times 0.8. And then if we plug that into our calculator, we get 5.0265, something feet. Okay, so that's our answer. So go ahead and look for the radius and just plug it in, and then just calculate it using a calculator, and then that's it. And then let's go ahead and move work on the last page, which is ratio word problems. So we are going to answer the questions using the ratios. So let's look at number 1. The ratio of tomatoes to red apples is 2 to 5. And so what does that mean? That means if you have 2 tomatoes, then we have 5 red apples. Okay? And so if we have 20 tomatoes, then how many red apples do we have? Okay? So again, we're going to set up a proportion. And so we do 2. So if there are 2 tomatoes for 5 apples, how many apples are there for 20 tomatoes? Okay? So we're going to put an X because we don't know. Okay? And so again, we just do cross multiplying, and we get 2x equals 100, right? And then we divide 2 by on both sides. And so we get x equals 50. And what does x stand for? X is the red apples, the number of red apples, right? So that means we have 50 red apples for 20 tomatoes. Okay, let's look at number 2. So if the ratio of berries to oranges is 10 to 1, so berries, if there are 10 berries, then there are 1 orange. Okay, but if there are 25 oranges, then how many berries are there? Okay, so we're looking for the number of berries. So let's go ahead and set up a proportion. So we have 10 berries to 1 oranges, and we don't, so we're putting an X because we don't know how many berries there are. And there are 25 oranges. Okay, and so again we do cross multiplying, and we know that. And so we get X equals 250. And that's it. And X, again, is the number of berries. So that means we have 250 berries for 25 oranges. Okay? So that is it. Go ahead and finish this page. And then here's your answers. And that's it.